For more on the story, we are joined by defense analyst, retired Brigadier Waqar Khan, live from Islamabad. Mr. Khan, thank you for joining us. Now, how much concern will these developments create in Pakistan, where you are?
Amika, thank you very much for having me. I think it's going to have a huge impact. And briefly, what Taliban has done since they have come to power in the last 5 years, they've been oppressing the entire population. 20 million women are locked in their houses. You have other minorities like Tajiks, Uzbeks, Hazaras, and Nuristanis, and Farsi Dan, the Persian speaking. They all feel actually disenfranchised, including the Pashtun belt, which is south and east of line Kabul, Kandahar, because their economic lifeline is cut with Pakistan because of Taliban's policy. So by and large, today, if you have a survey, in my assessment, or an election, I don't know how we're going to hold it. I think 95% would like to see the backside of this regime. So that's where we are. Now, it's unfortunate that I foresee another, era of instability, a power struggle, and definitely it's going to have a huge impact on Pakistan-Afghan border. We may find, increase in, refugees, reverse migration again taking place, and then of course terrorism. So I think Pakistan has to keep its guard and hope that things settle down in Afghanistan.
And with the armed resistance apparently growing in Badakhshan, what does this mean about the Taliban's ability to maintain control across Afghanistan?
Now, if you look at the north, there are 5 Bs as it's always discussed, like starting from Badakhshan, which borders Pakistan, also Tajikistan and China. Then you have, Bamiyan, you have Balkh, and then of course you have Badghis. And then it goes right, the arc goes right up to, basically Herat province, which is Pasidan. So generally, this has been, I would say, the northern arc has been an arc of resistance always against Taliban. One reason is, of course, they've not been able to deliver. And now you find, this some of the resistance group, like National Resistance Front, some people call it, Afghan National Resistance Front, in Badakhshan now basically fighting against Taliban. And there is also issue of gold mines which were exploited by people who were appointed by, Mullah Habatullah from Kandahar. So there is a kind of, feeling that probably Taliban are now not only controlling the government but also the economic resources, and not much is being done for the poor people. So I think this is going to expand, and if you include the Panjshir Valley where Ayman Masood forces are active, probably we are going to see a huge challenge for Taliban in the north.
And is Pakistan sort of doing anything to sort of strengthen border security at the moment?
I think Pakistan has done its bit because what we are facing is a proxy war taking place all along the Pak-Afghan border, whether it be the KP where we have this Fitnal Khawarij, or in Balochistan we have the Fitnal Hindustan or the BLA. The bases are in Afghanistan, and unfortunately it was expected that probably after coming to power they'll have normal relations, but somehow they got some funding, maybe from Delhi, and then they thought they could undermine Pakistan. So I think Pakistan has to keep its guard, and we have strengthened it. I think now you have a new force coming up in Balochistan, which is the Frontier Corps West. So I'm sure it's going to add to the strengthening of the border, but still it remains very, very porous border. There are villages which are divided, there are houses which are divided, and there are people who live, with their relatives all across the region. So it's a tough call, but I'm sure Pakistan is keeping a guard.
And sort of could this instability in northern Afghanistan create space for groups like the TTP and Daesh to regroup? And if so, what risks would that pose, particularly for Pakistan?
I think this is one is going to become a huge problem for Pakistan, and then of course internationally in the region, because when you start losing control, so I'm sure there's going to be infighting. There could be breakup faction within Taliban ranks. TTP could then have a collusion with Daesh, and already we have seen some of the Daesh elements trying to fight along with Taliban in Badakhshan. So there are reports like people from Badakhshan are reporting that Daesh is part of that group which is trying to fight them from the government side. So it's very, very unfortunate. And then it will impact everybody. They have a special group for every country. Have Uzbekistan Islamic Movement. You have TTT, Tehrik-e-Taliban Tajikistan. I think they have some group for Russian Federation, and some have even, I think, reached right up to Europe. So it's going to be a huge problem.
And is there any room for diplomacy at all?
I think diplomacy is, should be continued always. But unfortunately, I think Pakistan has waited for, if you look at the first investment conference for Taliban was held in Islamabad. Pakistan was actually initially fighting the case for their diplomatic recognition. But then we found that basically entire flag came on Pakistan. And I find that window is very narrow. Maybe international community, especially European Union, United States, China, Russian Federation, and regional countries can put some pressure on Taliban that they should, one, of course, they should abide by the Doha Accord. Whatever was given, they were supposed to, have education for women, inclusive government, and then, of course, representation of all communities. But I feel that, there are less chances of diplomacy and more chances of, basically, I would say, conflict and war within Afghanistan.
Retired Brigadier Waqar Khan in Islamabad, thank you for joining us.